So when you're learning an instrument or you're learning to sing, often you make sounds that you don't intend to make, and they can be sounds that you class as bad, like squeaks and scratches and yodels. And then you get better and you take those ugly sounds and you push them into a dark room because you know how to make the sounds that sound good on your instrument, and you say, these are the sounds that I don't want, so they're going off there and I'm not going to touch them. But today we're actually going to explore some of those sounds, and we're going to explore all of the sounds that our instrument can make, from the ugly, strange to the really beautiful. And our theme this week is texture, and a lot of the thing that makes our instruments sound amazing is the range of textures. So I'm going to demonstrate some sounds on the double bass and also some sounds with my voice. And then I'm going to give you some exercises to work on with whatever instrument you happen to play to find all of the sonic possibilities that your instrument has to offer. And then at the end of the video, there is a short relaxation exercise so you can stay, get set up for your practice and get in a really nice mood to do some exploring on your instruments. Strike, spark. Welcome to Practice Space. I'm Erica. I am a musician, composer and a music teacher. And as you can see, I have a double bass with me, but I also am a singer. That was my first instrument. And Practice Space is for all musicians. So we're working on a very creative, fun exercise today, but we also work on very practical ways of getting better in the practice room. So if you'd like, you can follow along. You can subscribe for episodes Monday to Saturday every week. And if you ever want to take a lesson with me, I teach music online, so I'll leave a link in the description below. So something my double bass teacher always told me was that there is no such thing as a good sound or a bad sound on the instrument. There are only right and wrong sounds for that particular moment. And so if we think of a sound like a tool that goes in our toolbox, or maybe even something like in an art kit, a brush that we file away, there is a moment for every one of those tools. So if we play something and we make a squeak or we make a sound that we don't really want at that moment, if we can remember how we make that sound, we can file it away and then we can pull it out later. And that could be the exact perfect moment to use that sound that perhaps you never thought you would use until you knew how to play it. So we're going to look at finding the possibilities on our instrument or with our voices. And this is a great exercise for any musician, regardless of what instrument you play. And it's also great for beginners as well as intermediate to advanced players. So I'm going to demonstrate a few sonic possibilities on the instruments that I have. So I have this double bass and I can play with my fingers. I can play pizzicato jazz style, but I can also play classical style pizzicato, which has a totally different tone. And then if we're thinking about hands, we have options for using the double bass as a drum. So we're getting a bit unconventional now. And depending where I hit the instrument, I get different sounds, which part of my hand I'm using. And if I could swing the bass around like a rockabilly bass player, if I had enough space, I would drum on the back as well to get a different sound. And then if we think about our left hand, we have lots of opportunities for doing things like glisses and slides, up and down the strings, hammer-ons and kind of pull-offs. I don't know if that's the right terminology for bass, but I played guitar first before I played the double bass, so I think of it as a hammer-on and a pull-off. And then if I add in the bow, this just gives us even more sonic possibilities because we have this very lowest E, and then we have super high harmonics on the bass, which can be kind of hard to find. And there are lots of harmonics all over the bass. And then depending how you play with the bow, if I play really close to the bridge, I get a particular sound. And if I play right over the fingerboard, I get a particular sound as well. And then I can vary my bow speed, my weight, how straight the bow is. I can purposely make the bow go wobbly and get a particular sound. So if you play a string instrument, you have many, many sonic possibilities. And perhaps you've explored some of them, but the task today is to find some more. So the other instrument I carry around with me 24/7, it's my voice. And the voice has, of course, the conventional sounds where we're just singing scales or melodies, la 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 la, these kinds of sounds. But even within these conventional sounds, we have many ways of articulating notes. We can slide from one note to the other, or do like a little hiccup kind of thing in between them. And then if we move to some less conventional sounds, we have some whispery sounds. We have tongue clicking kind of sounds. We can do lip bubbles. We can do lip bubbles with pitch, which is a nice way to warm up your voice. You can also do rolled R's, which unfortunately I'm not very good at doing rolled R's, which makes me very bad at speaking the Czech language, which is the second language that I try and speak. And so we can also do some rather unconventional sounds like harmonic singing, which maybe I can demonstrate. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. So I'm not skilled enough to kind of like play melodies with the overtones, but if you really are interested in that sort of stuff, then today is the day to explore. So whatever your instrument, there are many sonic possibilities, and it is your task in your practice just for a few minutes to find some of those sonic possibilities. So your exercise today is just to find 5 new sounds on your instrument that you have not encountered before. And try and push past the pretty sounds and maybe add a couple of ugly or unconventional sounds to that list. And if you really get into this idea of exploring all of the sonic possibilities on your instrument, you could do what one of my vocal teachers suggested and make a spreadsheet of all of the different sounds that you have available to you on your instrument. But you can also just explore. And so once you've found your list of 5 sounds, I want you to pick 2 or 3 of them and use them either in an improvisation. So just improvise for 2 or 3 minutes. Give yourself a restriction of maybe a scale or half a scale or just a couple of notes, and work on how you can incorporate those new sounds into your improvisation. Or you can try and use some of these sounds in a piece, and you can work out how you can use perhaps an ugly sound to enhance a particular part of a song, or maybe you just work on practicing that ugly sound for the whole song so you really know how to make the ugly sound, and then you can potentially also know how not to make the ugly sound. So that's another reason why it's sometimes really helpful to work on actually playing the sounds that we view as bad or ugly, because once we know how to make them, we know what we're doing with our instruments, with our bodies, with our voices, and we hopefully have some insight into how not to make those sounds when we don't actually want to make those sounds. So you don't need to use these sounds all the time, but as my bass teacher said, every sound is a possible useful tool to be filed away in your toolbox. And it's also an opportunity to bring a bit of lightness to the way that you view the sound of your instrument or the sound of your voice, especially if you're going through a period where you're feeling like you just don't sound very good at the moment. You're working on something and things are in development. So there are some things that you're trying to iron out in your technique or in your voice, and they're not quite there yet. So if you enjoyed this video, then please give the video a like. That's really helpful to help other people find the channel, and it also makes me feel good. And you can stay for a short relaxation exercise after this, which will hopefully get you in a nice, playful, experimental mood to explore some new sounds on your instrument in your practice today. So thank you for watching. I'm Erica, and I'll see you tomorrow. So let's just take some time to prepare the body and the mind for practice. Take out your instrument, books, music, whatever you need for your practice today, and then spend a few moments making the space comfortable. And when you're ready, coming to a place of stillness, you can stand or sit with your instrument, and then with the next exhale, gently closing the eyes. Bring your awareness to your breath. Notice where in the body you feel that breath moving. The nose, the throat, chest, diaphragm. Where you feel the rise of each inhale and the fall of each exhale. And now you can begin to count each breath. 1 with the inhale, 2 with the exhale, 3 inhale, 4 exhale. Just up to a count of 10, then returning back to 1 again. And if any thoughts appear in the mind, simply noting, thinking, or any feelings, noting, feeling, and bringing the attention back to the breath. If you find you're distracted, simply returning to the count of 1, back to 10, and then repeat back at 1. So now slowly bringing your awareness back to the body, feeling the weight of your body in the chair, or the feeling of the feet connected to the floor. Maybe the feeling of your instrument under your fingers, its texture. And then, when you're ready, you can blink the eyes open, and I wish you a wonderful day's practice.